Yeah. Welcome to this week's episode of Choosing Us. That was so official and amazing.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Proud of myself.
You should be. It was great.
Have you ever noticed how much garbage is on social?
But there's also a lot of good.
There's a lot of good. It's equal and opposite, actually.
Very true. It's whatever you want to find.
It is whatever you want to
You
find.
can find both.
You actually just recently deleted the apps on your phone. How did that go?
Oh, it was great. It has been years, sadly, since I've had like a social media detox. And I just re-downloaded everything the past yesterday. I got back on everything and I don't actually like it. I realize how much it consumes you and you just get distracted by it and takes up so much time. And it's been amazing how much more stuff I've gotten done not having it.
Yeah. I'm not on social media very often. I post every single day. I've missed, 1 or 2 days in the last 120 or 90 or whatever it is. Mostly because I'm trying to build my brand. But I don't really scroll. I hop on, I post, I hop off. And it's usually like in a blaze of glory. Like, oh crap, I need to post really fast while we're doing something.
And then I feel like there has been a few times that you end up scrolling afterwards and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
And my cue of telling you, get the freak off your phone is, what you doing?
Yeah.
How's it going? What you doing over there?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah.
And that's the thing that social does do. But it's funny, we happened to cross an event on Saturday that we didn't even know was happening. It was a big grand opening for one of my friends' restaurants. Didn't even know it was happening. He made a big car show out of it. It was a big car show. Like a lot of people showed up. And we just happened to be driving past it. And he said, man, you suck at keeping up on all these things. I told him I didn't even know what was happening. He goes, you suck at keeping up. I said, well, it's because I'm never really on social. I just don't scroll through. But there was a time where that wasn't the case. And I would just kind of scroll and be bored. But it does a lot of things to your mind. Like a lot. And I didn't like it. So I really started paying attention and I looked at very often at that point in time, especially, I looked at the screen time. If you have an iPhone, there's a default thing. If you swipe to the right, it goes to your whatever they call it. And on that, most phones have how much time you're on every app. Your screen time app tells you how long your screen's been on and how long you've been on different individual platforms. And it was pretty shocking when I first started paying attention to that. Then I started looking at other people's phones, family members' phones that are on their phone for like 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Think about that for a second. Yeah, 10 hours a day on average. Ugh. But, and this is like a teenager, so it's not like somebody that's on their phone working. This is just death scrolling or on social media. But social media casts a massive facade.
Yeah. What's interesting is I just laugh and think back to when we got married. As Brad is rolling his eyes for those not watching.
Shameless plug, you should watch our YouTube.
There you go.
It's entertaining.
There you go.
She's really hot.
Oh, thanks. You are too.
You'll see it.
Anyways. Lost my train of thought. There you
When
go.
we first got married.
Yep. I thought that it was just like the movies. I thought that all these romance movies that I saw were the real deal. I thought that was what marriage looked like or a relationship looked like. And then it goes into social media as we get more into Facebook and Instagram. And you see all these happy couples or they're traveling everywhere all the time. And they just have these happy lives. and nothing's ever wrong. And that's what you see on social media. And then you realize it's not real.
Or not the full picture.
Or not the full picture. That's true.
Or not the full picture.
Because a lot of what we post, especially on my page, is stuff of us at the gym or with the family, with the kids, whatever. And it's real, and it's not every single moment of our lives. And we've even had people come and tell us like, oh, well, you guys just have this great relationship. We do. We have a really good relationship, but we still have bad moments. We still have
learning moments. I wouldn't say bad.
That's true. We have learning moments and have those experiences. And it's 10 years in the making of working on ourselves and each other, and both of us choosing that we wanted to have a great relationship. That was a choice we both made.
So I'm going to relay a story. I met a person, very influential, exceptionally wealthy. Every one of our listeners, I guarantee, knows who he is. And I got to meet him, and I got to spend a little bit of time with him, about a half hour. And that half hour, the first 20 minutes of that half hour was calming his wife down because she was upset with him for a couple of reasons. And he introduced me as his friend Brad. Who are you talking to? This is my friend Brad. He's driving me. And he and I, for almost 20 minutes on speakerphone, calming his wife down. His social media doesn't show that. Doesn't need to show that.
Nope.
But if you were to see his social media, and when you see his social media, you just see the traveling and the events and the things that his extremely extravagant life shows and is true. It's not fake, but it's not the whole picture. It's not everything. He's still human.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool experience for me. And truth be told, I wasn't shocked at all. I don't really get shell shocked. I don't get celebrity shocked. I just see people for people. And when that happened, we handled it and then continued our conversation. I actually didn't think much of it until I later pondered on that. But what Michaela said is absolutely true. The movies portray this false reality that a relationship should be. How many times has that caused problems within a relationship? Because our relationship isn't like The Notebook. It's not like this. It's not like that. It's not this happy ever after love story all the time. Having sex constantly, 24/7. Like, these things are not real. And then I've recently, probably because I've been going to quite a few groups, especially men's groups. I've been to several, holy cow, several men's groups. And this conversation of pornography is getting brought up because it's a safe space where these people can do this and we can talk about it and work through it. And seeing that ugly face and how these people are working through it successfully, but how much it's destroyed lives and families and created divides when that didn't need to happen. I don't remember the numbers. There was a time, this was like 2022, 2021, and I looked up, Pornhub had just released their annual numbers, their article on how many people came, how many videos were downloaded, how many videos were uploaded. It is staggering. Like, really gross staggering. How much pornography plagues our world. And what does that do to your relationship?
I actually know numerous people and have had countless conversations about one couple who their partner would watch it all the time and then want to reenact it and want to do it exactly like in the movies, exactly like they saw on their phone or wherever, because of course they make it look cool.
That's super real.
Right. All acting. And then it wasn't the experience. What? Wasn't the exact same as it looked like? And putting that on your partner, wanting them to do things that maybe they don't want to do, or maybe they just want to create your own relationship and your own experiences instead of trying to reenact that. And then another experience is having these high expectations of what you think intimacy should look like in your marriage. It doesn't look like that. I'm going to tell you right now. You may have moments where it's really great or you have a really awesome experience in the bedroom. Every single time, especially when you're married, and that's something you should be doing on a regular basis, every single time is not going to be like that.
For instance, we're gonna tonight surprise one of our little dudes. He's been asking to go to Texas Roadhouse a lot. Every time we pass it, hey guys, let's go there. So we're gonna surprise him right after recording this. That is real. That is an experience of love that we get to do together. That when we get to sit by each other and hold each other's hands and eat dinner with our two boys. That's real. That's powerful. That's impactful. We're creating core memories for our son. And that's not portrayed in the movies. Not like that. That's not what you show on social. Because I'm sure our 2-year-old is probably going to do something.
Oh, throw something.
Make a mess, and it'll probably be a little bit chaotic. And that's okay.
Yep.
And that's perfectly fine because that's reality. And helping understand this expectation versus truth. And that's really what it comes down to is what are you expecting? Because when you have an expectation, it means you want something. And if you don't get it exactly as that imagination of yours created, well, then you're let down.
I have had so many experiences like that being married that especially being a woman.
Guys, I really suck at that. I really suck at meeting Michaela's brain. Whatever she comes up with in her mind, I'm so screwed.
Yeah. Yep. So
I'm not near as cool as her mind makes me out to be.
Right. Especially as women, we create these scenarios, this perfect situation, how you think something's going to play out. We set that in our head. And then probably 90% or more, it has never turned out the way that I saw it in my head.
So we went to Disneyland for Christmas, which we've talked about on several episodes. And we did something a little different this time. What did we do?
We didn't set a plan. We had zero expectations.
We did set a plan to follow a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old
around Disneyland, wherever they wanted to go.
And we put a leash on them.
Yeah.
Literally, a backpack leash. And we just followed.
It was so much better.
What?
It was great. Because I'm a planner. I set everything out. I love to plan. And I had decided that I was going in with zero expectations. We were just going to do whatever the boys decide to do. And it was great. It was so much fun because I'm going to tell you right now, we didn't hit half of the rides.
No. We didn't even do like 2/3 of California Adventure.
Yeah. We did one little section.
Marvel Land
and Cars Land.
We didn't even do all of Cars Land.
Nope. And we did like a tiny little bit from Pixar, but that was it. There was so much of the park that we didn't even go to. And it was great. That was my favorite day because we just went at our own pace. We weren't looking at anybody around us. We didn't care what anybody else was doing. It was just about our experience. And how often are you doing that in your family and in your relationship? Are you putting all these high expectations on your partner and thinking that they should be doing all this? This is what a partner should do. This is, like people say, you're shoulding all over me. Stop shoulding.
I was just thinking that.
Stop shoulding all over me. And it's true. This is so common that we put expectations on our partner that they just can't live up to. And social media, movies, porn, all of that is putting an expectation on your relationship, on your partner, on your life. How often are people depressed because they are comparing themselves, their family, their relationship, their work, everything in their life to somebody else? And then you are living in this depressive state based off of one tiny little clip or a movie that's not real. It's not about what you make of your it should be what is made of your relationship, not what is seen by people around you.
Michaela said two things that I want to point on. She said she's a planner.
Yes.
Big
I
time.
love it.
This is like an understatement.
I love it.
Understatement of the century. And two, she said California Adventure was her favorite day. Before we went to Disneyland, the planner called everybody she knew that has ever made a post about going to Disneyland and said, what are the things we need to do? How do we need to do this? We've never taken toddlers to Disneyland. What's the best? What's the best rides? What's this? What's that? And we learned quite a few things. We learned the Genie Pass is awesome. We learned go when it's school time. Kids are in school on a weekday.
Yes.
So we went the first full week of December. Nobody in America was on winter break yet. We learned these cool things. We also learned things that didn't work for our family. And that's the point I'm getting at. We were told from several people, you need to be there at flag drop. Be there at flag drop, be the first ones in the park, go straight to this, go straight to that, do this, do that, because those lines get ridiculous very quickly. So we got up, we did our morning routine as much as we could before we left. We were in Newport Beach, so we're like 30 or 40 minutes away. We got to the park, we pushed our boys through, and they do really well. They're early morning risers. However, they normally take a nap by 10 or 11 o'clock. Our 2-year-old does. And by 10 or 11 o'clock, he was done. He was so done. We were only in the park for like an hour and a half, 2 hours before one started whining. And then once one starts whining, the other one starts whining. And then we were all but done by 11:30, just energetically done. And we were out of the park by 12:30. We may have pushed it to 1. I don't quite remember. I think it was 1
like
o'clock.
1 or 1:30 that we left.
We finally said, screw this. Literally hands in the air. This sucks. We're leaving. And we left. What did we do different that made California Adventure the second day so much better? Everything that somebody told us, we know our family. You know your family. We know that if we let our boys have their time in the morning, because most kids are slow paced. If you rush kids, they just don't like that. Most children, at least. Our boys are very much, they do not like to be rushed. So we let them up in the morning, let them play, let them do their thing. We put them down for a nap. They woke up from their nap at 1 o'clock or 1:30, and we made it to the park at 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon. And then we blasted the park until 8:30 or 9 p.m. They were toast, but they didn't have freakouts. They didn't have meltdowns. They ended up falling asleep in the stroller, which they wouldn't have done when it was sunny. But because it was nighttime and it was dark, they both fell asleep. They were both asleep before we even got out of the park. What I'm getting at is you know your family. there was an expectation set on us. We made an expectation to some degree for Disneyland side. We followed what everybody said you should do, and it didn't work for us. Our favorite day was the day where we took advice, but we did our own thing, made it our own way. And it was so much better. When you watch these social medias, these movies, whatever it is, and you have an expectation and a preconceived notion and don't take into account your family dynamic, you're missing most of the puzzle.
You always have the saying, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's really not. The grass is greener where you water it. And I love that saying because it's so true. And people see social media and they see movies and they see everything that they think they don't have or their relationship isn't like that. Why does it need to be? Why does it need to be like anything else that you see out there? Why not take your relationship, water it, nurture it, blind out everything else from the world, the social media, the movies, everything out there that you see that you are supposed to do to have a great relationship, and sit down, have a conversation with your partner, figure out what you both like, what you both need, and create a beautiful relationship based off of that, with zero expectations of your partner, of what they should be, and accept them for who they are and what they are, and develop a beautiful relationship from that, instead of what you think a beautiful relationship is supposed to look like or supposed to do.
What she said. We'll end with that because it was the best. So have this conversation with your friends, your family, especially your significant other. Have them listen to this episode and create your own dynamic. Create your own world, not based off the facade on the outside. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper.
And you'll find me at Draper Choosing Us.
Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, we love you guys. Bye.